guys? John here for Obese and this video is going to be kind of different. I wanted to make a video. Also, I'm going to the gym soon. That's why I'm wearing this, I promise. I don't just walk around in these shirts all day. But I wanted to make kind of a different video because I know I have a lot of new subscribers and I want you guys to get to know me as much as possible. And so I figured I'd make a video basically about my beginnings and how it is that I gained as much weight as I did and that moment that I decided to change. Because obviously I've made videos about how I changed and what I did to change, but I want to talk about that moment. But let's talk about just my beginnings, you know what I mean? I was born in 1992. I live in San Diego, California, so I was born in 1992, and as a kid, I went through a lot, I guess. When I was younger, my mom was a heavy drug addict, and we ended up getting taken away from my mom when I was about like 2, right? This is getting a lot deeper than I thought it would. So, from 2 to 3 years old, I was living with my uncle. Luckily, because if it wasn't for my uncle taking me, my sister, and my brother in, we would have ended up moving all the way to Pennsylvania and living with my grandma, who I love, but we would live with her until my younger sister was 18, and which she just turned 20 recently. So I mean, that's where I would have lived for most of my life. You know what I mean? And that's where my life would be absolutely different. So that happens, right? And then my mom ends up getting clean through a Christian drug rehab center, and we're actually put back with her, and we've been with her ever since. I absolutely love my mom. And so a couple years down the road, we're living with my mom, and I end up getting like a hernia, right? And so I ended up having to get it removed, and I was bedridden for a few weeks, and that's when I started gaining weight. Up until that point, I wasn't really a chunky dude. I wasn't even like husky. I was pretty normal, you know what I mean? I wasn't skinny, but I wasn't big. Got the hernia removed. It was like right down in my groin area, so I got it removed. And that's when I started gaining weight because I was bedridden for a few weeks. I'm not sure if there's really a correlation between all of these things, but that's when I started gaining weight, was when I was about 5, maybe 6. Started gaining weight, and then, so in middle school, in elementary school, I was pretty active. I played flag football. I wanted to play like Pop Warner, but one, it was really expensive. I come from a very humble family, I guess you say. We don't have very much money, so it was expensive, and I honestly I was above the weight limit for the Pop Warner League that was in my area, so I couldn't play. So I wasn't able to play Pop Warner, but I played flag football. I used to skateboard literally every single day of my life. Played DDR. So in elementary school, I was a chubbier kid for sure. Definitely one of the bigger kids in the school. Junior high, I was definitely known as the big, chubby, fat kid, right? Fat, funny kid. And in high school is when I just started really gaining a lot of weight. And I mean, I played sports. I tried out for the football team, and I ended up getting like made fun of, and I couldn't handle it. I was not mentally strong enough to handle being made fun of every time I tried to try out or did any of the exercises, so I ended up quitting. But during this time, I was still skating. I was still playing DDR. It sounds really lame, but I was pretty good. I'm serious. I played on expert. And I was still gaining a good amount of weight, right? So I'm in high school, right? I'm the biggest, literally the heaviest kid at my high school. I was known, my nickname in high school was Cupcake. And it was like it was weird. It was like this persona that I had, because if I was in a class where people didn't really know me as Cupcake, or like they didn't know my nickname, or I wasn't very outgoing, I was so different. Like if I was in a class where people didn't really talk to me, they didn't know me as Cupcake, I was quiet, I was reserved, I didn't really hang out. Like I was just very to myself. But if I was in a class where people knew me as Cupcake, I was very outgoing, almost to the point it was probably annoying. I was known as like the same thing, the funny fat guy. People didn't take me seriously, but they liked me. And so that's when I started, you know what I mean? That's when you start making fun of yourself to get people to like you, and then you start just not even really respecting yourself, right? And then, so I ended up graduating high school, and now I'm working, right? So I was working at the Vans shoe store, and we used to have these ladders in the back to get the shoes, and the weight limit was 250 pounds and I was 360. Those things were not meant for me. Man, that was it was embarrassing because I would work there, and I mean, you got a good hefty discount when you work there. You get 50% off, and I couldn't get anything because nothing fit me. All I could get was shoes and a hat. Like, that's all I could get. They had to special order me shirts, or I would just wear blank t-shirts because they didn't make shirts that went up to 5XL. Like, there was just so much stuff that would, like, just get to me like that. You know what I mean? Little things that people don't realize when you're heavier. Like, I remember when I was at my heaviest, like, I didn't like going out to food places or anything because I was afraid if the chairs had armrests that I wouldn't be able to fit in the chair, because if it had armrests, then you had to fit, you know what I mean, inside the armrests. I wouldn't. So from there, I ended up I was working 2 jobs, at Vaughn's, it's a grocery store, and at Vans. I had, that's when I started losing the weight. But let me take you back a little bit. I was sitting, this is when I was literally just doing nothing. Like, I would sit in my room until I had to be at work, go to work, and then come back and be in my room. You know what I mean? And so I was watching Miami Ink, which is it's a reality TV show about tattoos and stuff. Obviously, I like tattoos because I have so many of them. And I was watching that, and I kept thinking, man, I wish I had more tattoos than just the ones that I have on my, like, these ones on my forearms I had since I was younger, since before I lost the weight. And I remember thinking, man, I really want to get more tattoos, but I can't because, you know what I mean, if I did decide to lose the weight, or I never show any of my other parts of my body, so why would I get more tattoos, right? So I just didn't. I didn't get more tattoos. And I was watching Miami Ink, and every episode came on, and I was binge watching it on Netflix. And I just, man, I really want to get more, but I can't. And a gentleman came on that had lost a lot of weight, and they asked him, how'd you do it? You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. How did you lose the weight? And he just said, he made it sound so simple. You know what I mean? He said, I just took care of myself. You know what I mean? I ate better and I exercised. And it was at that moment, I can't explain the click, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you've had this moment. There's that click, that light bulb that goes off. There's that thing that just sparks you. And that's what it was. I was sparked. I was so ready to go. And this was 2 years ago, you know what I mean? And I remember waking up the next day and going and getting a haircut and going and, like, buying a sandwich because that was the only healthy thing I knew that you could eat. And I was just so, like, I can't explain how happy and looking forward to the future I was at that moment, because it was at that point that I realized that the only thing that's stopping me from this is myself. The only thing that can make me succeed is myself. And the only thing that can stop me is me. Like, that's such an empowering thing, knowing that it's all up to you. You know what I mean? And since then, it's been 2 years, and this is where I am now with a kitty shirt on, talking to you guys on YouTube. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys some more insight on who I am and where I've been, what I've been through, what made me get to where I am, what made me get to where I am now, what made me get to where I was when I was heavier. I just love putting out videos for you guys, and I love you guys getting to know me, because you guys have sent me messages just pouring your heart out to me, and I want to give back. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope this maybe give you some insight, or at least let you guys get to know me better a little bit more. Thanks, guys. Like, I say it every video, but you guys are awesome, and I love when you guys send me messages or comment on the videos and just communicate with me. I love it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment section down below. If you guys like the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. It really, seriously, it really does help out the channel, and you guys have been doing a great job at it, and I really, really, really appreciate it. And then there's one other thing. Oh yeah, no. If you're not subscribed, there we go. That's another thing. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. You'll get an update on every single video that I make. There's one other thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, look at my fam.